Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to take a look at the Akasa Turing A50 MKii case upgrade. Akasa has actually come out with a new case that includes these upgrades, but they also can supply you with an upgrade kit that consists of front and back panels. Before, there were three missing features from your ASUS PN50 that you wouldn't be able to use if you used the old Akasa Turing A50 case. But the MK2 takes care of that, those failings. So now on the back of the case, you can now access the DisplayPort through a new cutout for that. It also includes some mounting hardware for that DisplayPort. And on the front panel, there's two new features. There are holes for the included left and right microphone that were rendered useless by the lack of holes for those in the original A50 case. And now they have also added a slot for the micro SD card reader and the hardware needed to attach that to the case. We'll go over installing these front and back panels. There really isn't much to it, but let's take a look at a couple of other modifications that you might want to consider for your A50 or A50 MK2 case, which I found improve the usability a little bit. So first off, a black power button completely disappears on the face of a matching black front panel. So what was my solution? Well, my solution was to steal from my wife some Wet n Wild red nail polish. And the nail polish is simply applied to the button, and you allow that to dry overnight before using it. You can remove that button and apply. Basically, it just takes a couple of drops, spread it out over the entire button, let that dry overnight, and reinstall. You can do it with the when it's installed in the front panel, but I don't recommend that. It's easy to be sloppy if you're not used to applying nail polish. And I will include links to places that you can get this, Amazon, using my affiliate links. So if you wouldn't mind using those, if you need to get any of these supplies, I would appreciate. Second modification is that the power and hard drive lights are bright, really bright, annoyingly so. I found these. They are called light dims, and all they are stickers that are semi-transparent, and you can layer them one on top of the other to dim LED lights that are way too bright. And I stacked one on top of the other to achieve the brightness that I was looking for. Okay, so let's take a look at the process for installing the new front and back panels for the Akasa Turing case. Okay, open up the case. Remove the cable for the SATA drive if you're using one, and set the rear panel aside. Remove the front panel and retain the power button for use in the new MK2 front panel. So the front panel has holes for the internal mics and the micro SD reader. Insert the power button into the front panel, set in place, and screw it on. I found it easiest to remove the micro SD card bracket and to screw the SD card assembly onto the bracket first. It goes on underneath the bracket. After that, screw the bracket back onto the inside of the front panel. Before you do that though, plug the connector from the motherboard into the SD card reader before you screw the bracket back into place. It'll make it a lot easier. At this point, I tested to see if a card could be inserted. It could, without any trouble at all. I initially had trouble getting the left microphone cable to reach the mic hole in the case. I found that the mic cable had become trapped between the board and the bottom stick of RAM. If that happens to yours, give it a good tug. I used both Gorilla brand mounting tape and Scotch brand double-sided mounting tape to secure the mics to the holes in the case. I later replaced the Scotch mounting tape as the Gorilla brand seems to stick better. Now remove the antennas from the rear panel. Remove the antenna mounts from the rear panel, and then remove the old rear panel. And now screw the MK2 back panel from the upgrade kit onto the case. Reinsert the antenna mounts into their holes. Remember to orient the flat side of the mounts to the flat side of the holes. Screw them on securely back into place with the washers and the nuts. Mount the DisplayPort to the mounting hardware. In this case, the mounting hardware comes separately in the kit, unlike the micro SD card reader mounting hardware. And connect the DisplayPort to the flat cable from the motherboard before mounting to the case. Otherwise,
it is very in a very inaccessible spot to get that flat cable into the slot provided. Use 2 screws to mount the bracket to the rear panel from the outside of the case. And reattach the flat SATA drive cable if you're using one, and close the case, screw it all back on, and next attach the antennas, plug everything back in, and test it out. All right, thank you very much for joining me for this video. I hope it was helpful in some way in helping you to put your PN50 into the case, or upgrading from the regular A50 case to the A50 MKii. If you want to relate your experiences, and if you have any questions, I would certainly try to answer them to the best of my ability if you just leave those in the comments below. And anyway, hope that you'll like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you very much.